So I guess I need to tell you the story of how I might have accidentally killed Val Kilmer.
I can't believe you, man.
It was actually Adelaide's fault, my daughter's fault.
Unbelievable.
So this past week, I went to New York City to celebrate my grandmother's 100th birthday. Technically, it's my wife's grandmother, but she might as well be mine because she's been in my life for 30 years. So she turned 100 on Tuesday. So like my son flew in from Dallas, and obviously Adelaide lives in Brooklyn. And so we flew in Sunday. We had a really great like family dinner Sunday night, just the four of us. And then Monday was preparing, like just getting everything ready for the party on Tuesday. So one of the things that Addie and I did when we were when she was a kid, is we used to bake all the time. It was something that was a really cool father-daughter thing that we would do. So on Monday evening, when she got back from work at her tattoo studio, we made this really awesome like lemon cake. It was so good. It was so good. It was so good.
Like a lemon pound cake?
Yeah. It was more like angel food cake. Oh. So we're sitting there in the kitchen in her Brooklyn apartment, and we're cooking, and her boyfriend's there, and we're just having a good time, you know. And she goes, "Oh, we should watch Real Genius." And I was like, "Oh my God!" And her boyfriend's name is John, and John was like, "I've never seen Real Genius." And I'm like, "Dude, like you got it. It's like one of the greatest movies ever." And so we were sitting there, and we're in the kitchen, we're kind of wrapping up, you know, cleaning everything up. And, you know, a little bit of time had passed, and I was like, "You still want to watch it?" It was like 10 o'clock. And she was like, "Yeah." So we go online, and we're like, "All right, well, how can we watch Real Genius?" And it was available on a couple of services. But then it was on Amazon Prime, where we could rent it or buy it. And so we had this whole conversation about, okay, if we bought it, would you watch it again? And I was like, I've seen the movie like 25 times in my life. Of course I'm going to watch Real Genius again. It's one of the greatest movies ever. She's like, awesome. So we bought it. So now we own it. And now it's like awesome. Like in the world of digital, I'm sure I've had the DVD to that Top Secret many times in my life. But now it's like, all right, cool. We own it and we'll watch it again. So we sit down about 10 o'clock and we watch Real Genius. I love that movie. I love that movie to the nth degree. It's so good. And we were talking to that movie about Val Kilmer's performance and all the little nuanced things that Val Kilmer does in the movie. And we have this really great Val Kilmer energy into the universe moment. And then I wake up Tuesday morning and he's dead. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, what if we had not watched that? What if we didn't put all that energy in it was all positive energy. So I don't know. I don't really think we killed Val Kilmer, but it was so weird that we were inspired that night. It wasn't like everybody's watching Real Genius now. Everybody's watching Tombstone and Top Secret and Top Gun and all these movies, Batman and The Other Man. Mm-hmm. And it's like, because he's dead. Well, the night before he died, we were inspired to watch that movie again because it is truly one of the greatest movies of all time.
It really is so good.
And I hope we didn't send shockwaves into the universe that pushed him over the edge.
No, you involved yourself in the quantum entanglement of Val Kilmer. Mm-hmm. So when you guys first started talking about Val Kilmer and had all this Val Kilmer-esque energy happening.
Oh, yes, we did.
Then you made the choice consciously to get the movie Real Genius, and you watched it. So that Val Kilmer and you, that energy now synchronized. Mm-hmm. So the next day it was inevitable. You were going to find out almost immediately that he had died.
Well, I wondered, like, this is actually my thought process over coffee when I realized this. It was like, was he, because he was sick, and I don't know, like, whatever he was struggling with, so he was sick. So did somewhere in the quantum entanglement of Val Kilmer's existence when we were like, not only do we love this movie, we love it so much, we're going to spend $13 and we're going to buy this movie so it lives on our Amazon Prime forever, that was enough for him to go, I have made another soul happy.
100%.
It's time for me to go.
He felt it, and he was like, that was the one purchase I needed to be free.
Yes.
And now he just let his spirit go.
If I just had one apartment in Brooklyn, purchase Real Genius one more time, I'll know it's okay. Like, that's where I was just like, well, if we hadn't purchased it, or if we hadn't watched it, or if we had watched some other movie that, like, maybe he'd still be here.
Nah, you can't change fate. You can't change destiny. That time was his time.
Somewhere, I hope, as he was drifting into the next realm, he knew that he was carrying such positive thoughts and such laughter and joy. Like, he's a great actor, loved all his movies, but Real Genius to me is truly one of the best movies ever made. His timing in that movie, he is so funny in that movie.
He really is
He's so good.
Yeah, no, I think probably as he was drifting off into what is the great beyond, he was running through all the terrible things he had done to people, and he was like, oh, damn, this is going to be rough. This is going to be a rough go going into where I'm going.
No. He
Val
probably,
Kilmer.
yeah, but he was, I mean, I like to think my thought is that he felt the energy of the joy that was happening in this little apartment in Brooklyn. At that moment, he was like, it's okay. It's okay for me to go.
I'm sure that's exactly what it was. But times that by like 1 million people, because there were others that also that night were like, have you seen Real Genius? Let's watch Real Genius.
Yeah, plenty of dudes were high. They're like, oh man, have you ever seen this movie?
Yeah.
It is the funniest movie ever.
It is so good.
It is so. It's like, when we were watching the movie, I realized that Adelaide had never seen Top Secret, and I was like, oh, you got to watch Top Secret. Now, I think Real Genius is better than Top Secret,
100%.
but Top Secret is still a pretty funny movie.
It's so good.
It was kind of like what John Cusack did in 1987, where he made One Crazy Summer and then Better Off Dead. I think in that order, it may have been the other way around. It was like the actors there, like these actors in the 80s would like have these like two film, like kind of funny things. And then Val Kilmer had Real Genius and Top Secret. But Real Genius was like, dude.
It was so good. I used to think that not only Val Kilmer was probably the most beautiful and handsome man I had ever
Good-looking
seen
dude.
when I was younger. For years, I was convinced that the main character, the younger kid, was a girl the whole time.
Oh, really?
Posing as a boy. Yeah, I thought there was going to be like a big reveal at the end of the movie where he was like, I'm actually a lady. And people were like, ha, 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 ladies aren't smart, but
That's not how it ended.
That's not how it ended, no.
So one of the things I read this week, when all the posts and everything that happened after people die, was the story about how he got the role of, I think it's Chris Knight, in Real Genius. So he went to the audition with whoever the director was, and he went to the audition, and I guess the audition was fine. It wasn't anything great. But what Val Kilmer did is when he left the audition, he kind of hid in the office, and he waited for the director to leave that day. So he waited for like 3 hours, like hidden behind a file cabinet or something. So the director walks out, goes to the elevator, and it was the way the story was told was that it was like a 40-story building. So he got on Val Kilmer got on the elevator with the director so that he would have that one-to-one time from the 40th floor to the floor. And all he did was twist a quarter through his hands like he does in the movie, where he's spinning the quarter back and forth on his hands.
So cool.
Dude, when I was a kid and I first saw the movie, you have no idea how many hours I spent practicing trying to twist a quarter in my hand like Val Kilmer does in Real Genius.
I never got it.
But all he did on that elevator ride was spin that quarter. And the director knew when they got to the floor, this is the guy that needs to play in Real Genius.
Man, Val Kilmer, what a life. Sometimes, you know how we always say, like, other people are just different versions of you, right now? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think about Val Kilmer, I'm like, man, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, not the dead part, but,
There's an energy that exists in him, or did, or still, however you want to look at it, that exists in me. So in many ways, I am Val Kilmer.
Yeah, well, it's all. I explained it this way. I think it may kind of sum it up. Imagine we're a bubble
Okay.
that is inside of a giant, vast bubble that you can't see end to end, and there's just billions of tiny bubbles. And we just happen to be one of those bubbles. We're eventually going to pop. And when we pop, we give enough soap to a different bubble, which gets bigger. And then some of them get smaller. But we're all still involved in that one giant bubble.
Yeah, totally. We're all bubbles.